Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here in the Fuzzy Biker Garage. I went on a 4-day, 2,000 some mile trip. Just got back last night or yesterday afternoon. There's the hot rod we took. I want to go over some of the details of the ride and tell you a little bit about some of the nifty equipment I learned about on this motorcycle. Can you see that dash? That was a superstar of this ride. Also these heated gripping pants, they were both a success and a fail. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So Gearhead Junction is a motorcycle shop in Pembroke, Virginia, I think it is. Absolutely beautiful area, just fabulous place. Great shop, good motorcycles, Royal Enfields, Moto Marinis, Cove, GPX. They also have a big collection of used motorcycles, including a whole mess of Harleys, amazing one. Anyway, I wanted to go there and visit my good buddy there, Terry, and see what it's all about down that way. And I just wanted to ride. I love to ride motorcycle. And that was 1,000 miles out, 1,000 miles back, and I took the bike. I left on a Sunday. It was supposed to be raining that day. I knew it was supposed to rain. I said I thought I'd do about 600 miles the first day, and looked at the radar map. It looked like 600 miles of rain. I thought, okay, I'll get wet, no big deal. I left here. It was misting. By the time I got to the interstate, 6 miles away, it was raining. 50 miles into that ride, it just started pouring, and then it got heavier from then on. And I thought I was pretty well geared up. I had my, I had the long underwear Noru top on. I had my Royal Enfield Nervic jacket on, which was a good thing. I had on insulated bicycle pants. That was a bad thing. I had my Tourmaster motorcycling boots on. That was both good and bad. We'll talk about that. And then I had on these Gerber heated pants, which I thought were exterior pants, or actually interior. You're supposed to cover them, and they kept me warm. Without those, I could not have rode that far for sure. But if you wear these, don't expect them to stop the rain. Wear them underneath a rain suit or something. Anyway, the ride the first day was, it started wet. I don't mind the rain. The first 50 miles, I didn't mind, I didn't mind that at all. Started getting heavier and heavier and heavier. I got colder and colder, and finally 300 miles in the ride. I was in Illinois somewhere. I pulled over and got a hotel. Everything I had was soaked. Everything was soaked. I took my Nervic jacket off and I laid it, I hung it on the back of a chair, and it dripped for over an hour. It just dripped and dripped and dripped. Now, the success on that is I was dry underneath the jacket. I got a little water around the neck collar line. I did not get any through the front, and I did get water through the bottom. And part of that, I think, was because of the bicycle pants I had on. The footwear I had on is waterproof footwear. But I had my insulated bicycle pants, which are not waterproof, tucked into the boots. And about when I sat on the motorcycle, those pants got wet and it wicked into the boots. Pretty soon I had a puddle in my boots. I took those boots off and I literally dumped them in the bathtub. That's how much water they'd collected. Anyway, I need better planning. I needed a rain suit bottom. I think a whole rain suit would be nice. Heated pants. So I had those on the whole time, and they kept me warm. And I could not have rode in that rain without that, because I was getting wet, without the heated pants on. And I could tell they worked the whole way. And anyway, I was ill prepared. I learned a lot, and we're going to do something different next time. The gloves I had on were my Tourmaster gloves, and inside the gloves, thanks to my good buddy Colorado Mark, I had on these neoprene, these things right here, and these are gloves. And they kept my hands dry. So I had soaked gloves, but my hands were dry. So a little bit more about the gripping pants. I want to talk about that. I got a question online today about this, or this morning. They plug in. I did a plug-in on this side of the bike. This comes right off the battery right here. I tied it onto that strap right there. The controller, you have a controller right here. Plugs into that. And that gets power to the controller. And then this plugs into the controller. He asked what happens if you were to go down. Well, this literally just pulls right out. It's not going to hold or anything. Also, I read if there is a short in the system shuts itself off. So I did not feel like there was any trouble at all. It's a 12-volt system. Worked pretty darn good. The other star of the show. So when I did this ride, one of my goals was to learn how to use the nav system on this bike. This bike has a nav system. We've just never been able. I've had this bike 10 or 11 weeks. I got it August 23rd, and never been able to use the nav system. So I made a point. It's on right there. I made a point of, I was going to use that. And so the second day of the trip, I had rain in the morning, which was, I drove through 5 hours of rain in the morning. I had my gear. It wasn't a heavy rain. It was a light rain. My gear kept up just fine. You know, no troubles. In the afternoon, I started messing with the nav system. I got the bike on so I can show you this. By the way, the bike has over 17,000 miles on it now in, you know, 10 or 11 weeks. So I got it to work, but I got this little window here to work, but I couldn't get this to work. And I used that to navigate all the way from somewhere in Illinois, or let's see, probably Ohio, all the way down to the holler to Gearhead Junction in Virginia. And it worked. It worked. It gave me this little window here. This was blank. It gave me this little window here, and it gave me you know, what my next move was here. And I want to show you guys something here. It gave me, let me see. It gave me that window right there. So I was able to navigate using that little circle with directions down here to get to where I was going. And I couldn't figure, you know, I was on the bike, and every time I stopped, I'd do a little change to it. And I only stopped when I needed fuel, because that's the only way you get anywhere in a long ride. And so when I got to Gearhead Junction, they got a little guest area in their shop. I spent the night there. I got up about 3 in the morning because I'm an early bird. And I decided I was going to learn how to work this thing. And after mucking around, I figured out that I was not doing something on my phone app. And we're going to do a video on this, and I'll show you what I had to do. But look at this. You go to this thing here. You hit that button there, right here, this button here. And the map reappears there. Here's kind of the neat thing about the map. It zooms in and out. You can use this controller here. It's, you know, and so when I was on the interstate, I would put on this large view like this, and I had a, you know, I could see my path. It was really cool. I had that on. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. I had that on all the way home. You know, the day I left there, I was 2 days home. I left on a Wednesday at about 11:30. I got home yesterday, Thursday, at about 1:15 or something like that. So I had that on the whole time, and it worked darn well. It worked darn well, you know. So I've got that. If I want to zoom in, I hit the zoom button. You know, here it jumps up a little bit. Check that out. When I got into the big cities, I love riding in big cities, Indianapolis and Peoria, and I don't know what other ones, several other ones. You know, I would use that as my guideline, you know, to give me my next turn. It just worked fabulously. Oh, there's my mileage, by the way. 17,081 miles on the bike. Ha ha! I love it. I love it. And then for the trip, the whole trip, on that particular trip, we did, okay, 2,040 miles. So from Sunday, I mean, to yesterday, we did 2,040 miles. Not too bad for, you know, a couple-day trip. Anyway, neat thing. One of the downsides of that app is you have to leave your phone screen on like this. If you swipe this like that, you get the map on your phone, but it goes away on your bike. You can't get it on your bike anymore. And here, I'm trying to get it back here. So there's nav. I hit that. That's all I get. I get, you know, points of interest along the route and things like that. But it will not show the map unless you have that screen on. We're going to shut that off. The bike itself performed admirably. You know, it was a grand thing. So we got down to Gearhead Junction. We had rain. I was there Tuesday. We had this big long ride day planned, and we had rain that day. So we did a short ride instead. Terry rode a Scram 411, and Rich, or his friend Rich, met us. He was on a Pan American, and we did about a 45-minute ride, and beautiful, just beautiful. He called it a Zen road, you know, and it really was just a gorgeous route. Anyway, it was fabulous. Next morning I got up, we mucked around. I drove a Covey, I think it is, 450, absolutely amazing motorcycle. Loads of fun. And I hit the road. I met a bunch of people there. A bunch of people showed up at his shop, and we met it. And that was a lot. I really appreciate that, by the way. That warms my heart. Anyway, hit the road. You know, use the nav system like I was telling you about. I had my bag packed. You know, like in here I've got a sleeping bag, and I've got my Tourmaster boots in there. I had 2 pairs of boots with me. I had my Tourmaster boots, which I wore on the first day. The second day I wore my Keen, K-E-E-N boots, very comfortable hiking boots, and because it wasn't raining, and I didn't need the big heavy boots. In this bag, in this box here, which, by the way, 300 miles of heavy rain, and that box did not leak. And that just blows me away, because there, you know, this is a hard plastic seal. I don't know how it, you know, how it got away with that, but I opened that box expecting it to be full wet, and it was not, you know. So I had 3 pairs of gloves with me. I had my, these are my Royal Enfield Alpine Star. These are my, I call them my mid-weather gloves. They're insulated. They're good for from 45 to about 75 degrees. And I also had my ventilated gloves with me, which I think I used them one day. And they're, you know, the air blows right through those. Those are Noru. I love those gloves too. And most of the time I was wearing my Tourmaster Polartex gloves, which are, I don't know where, I think they're over by the helmet. The helmet I had on was my, I love my Neotech, my Shoei Neotech 2 helmet. It's a modular helmet. It's got it's quiet, relatively quiet. You know, it's got good ventilation. It has a very good shield, and it's just, the key thing is it's very comfortable. I rode 1,000 miles yesterday, or 500 miles yesterday, and I never once complained about my helmet. You know, it was just a fabulous thing. So, speaking about that ride, I forgot to mention this when I was showing you the. So I got to, I crossed the Illinois-Iowa line yesterday, and I needed gas, and I knew I needed gas, and I thought, where am I going to get gas? Well, then my fuel light came on, and as soon as the fuel light came on, I had my nav hooked up. My nav system said, I don't know what it said, something about being out of gas. Asked me if I wanted, it said the nearest gas station, 2.8 miles, Sinclair. Do you want to go? Do you want to go to this route or something like that? And confirm or dismiss. I hit confirm, and it routed me directly to the gas station. So I got just about to the gas station, and I thought, what if I don't go? So I left. I turned around and went away, and I got back on the interstate. It routed me to a different gas station. So I followed that. It was about 4 or 5 miles. I drove past that exit, routed me to another gas station. So I ran out of gas already 3 times at least this year. So I went ahead and went to that third gas station. But, just very impressed with that whole, I'm very impressed with that. And we're going to do a video on that system. But you know what, I also didn't show you this is the Gerbing controller right here. You plug in, and there's little buttons here that you can do 2 different plugins. Like I've had gloves or a heated vest, I could have did that with my pants. And then it's a 1 to 10 system. So 1 is 10% power, 10 is, or actually it's A, is 100% power. 5 is 50%, 6 is 60%. It worked pretty well, and it's water. It worked in the rain. So I had this Tusk bag on here. A friend of mine lent me this. This is not my bag. I had trouble with the fact that you have to unhook it every time, right here and right here. I had trouble with that in the beginning. Now trip like that. I think yesterday I stopped for fuel 4 times. I think it was 4 times. And you just get used to it, and you develop a system that makes it work. So, I'd unhook it, and I'd flip it up, and then I could get to my gas. And the neat thing about it, I did not use the clear pouch. I did put my phone in here. There's my helmet cleaner, and, just a couple little things in there readily available. The bike itself, let's look at the back tire here real quick. I'll show you the front tire. So this tire's got over 17,000 miles on it. And it's getting wore out. Its time is coming soon. I think I can get another couple thousand. It's still safe. It's not on the limiters yet. They're, the wear indicators yet. So the back tire has got, the bike's got 17,000. I put that tire on at, what did I put that on? 7,600. So that tire's got about almost 10,000 miles on it. That's pretty darn good. That is a Dunlop Trails Max Mission. And it's in pretty darn good shape, I would say. Very good tire. The reason I chose that, the Seats that come with this bike stock had better feel. I wore that tire out. I think I changed it to 7,600 because I had a big trip I was going on. I would have let it go another couple thousand, but I had a big trip I was going on, so I went ahead and put this tire on. The advantage of this tire is I think I've been getting 15,000 out of them, 14 or 15,000 of them. So I've got another 5,000 at least on that one, I hope. And I'm going to put one on the front as well when that time comes. I just real quick want to show you all. So I talked about this bike at 17,000 miles, and I've had it about 11 weeks. I've been from Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, and Virginia. However many states that is, that's where I've been so far. So this will wrap around eventually, and Alaska will be over here somewhere, and Texas down here, and Florida, if I ever get there, will be down here somewhere. Pretty proud of that. Pretty good I'm very happy with that box. You know, so big winners are the box, the nav system, these pants, although I have to learn how to use them properly. You know, the tires. You know, the bike just worked really well. I'm just so happy with it. You know, I've had. I think I'm on my 4th oil change, and I think that's what it is. And I've had the valves checked twice. Every time they've been inspect. After the 2nd valve check, you're supposed to be able to go 12,000 miles. We're going to check them again here in another week or so. Just that'll be about 6,000. I know I can go 12, but we're going to just check them anyway. It's so easy to do on this bike. Suspension on the motorcycle. I've got my suspension set. I think I'm on setting 4. On the firm side. I'm a big boy. I weigh, you know, more than a couple stones. I had all my gear on here, so that's why that's there. The stock front suspension has just been awesome. You know, that was one of the big surprises we had when we picked these bikes up on August 23rd. We knew the engine, you know, the new engine was going to be fabulous, and it is. But the suspension was just a real mind blower, just how well it worked. And both of us, Jeremy and I, he picked up a black one just like this. We were just blown away by, you know, the whole thing. I might as well mention fuel economy. I was getting in the high 40s. It didn't occur to me until a friend of mine mentioned it yesterday. So I left at 6 a.m. I got here at 1 p.m. That's 7 hours plus the time change, so that's 8 hours. I did stop and sit at McDonald's for an hour, so 7 hours. That's a little over 70 miles an hour average speed. So the fuel consumption at those average speeds was in the high 40s. So 4.5 gallon tank. I did all right. I think my biggest tank was 3.5 gallons, 3.6 gallons, something like that. So it did pretty darn good. The motor has plenty of power for the interstate. I keep getting asked about putting a pipe on. You know, I don't want a louder motorcycle. Friends of mine have put the head pipe on, and then, you know, they get rid of the cat, and then they keep the stock pipe, the stock muffler, and that seems to work pretty good. I don't know if I want to do that yet. I'm pretty happy with the performance of the bike. You know, if I did that, it would be a little bit louder and have a little more performance, and, you know, that would be nice, but I don't want a little bit louder, I don't think. So for now, I'm going to leave it the way it is. There are other things you can do. I did put a DNA air filter in there, and the question is, did that help performance? I don't know, but it sounds a lot louder. It's a lot more fun. When you turn the gas, it makes a, you know, a whooping noise. So great bike. Had a great trip. The ride home, you know, the first day I did 500 miles. I left Virginia. And I made it onto just about to the west coast of, or west border of Indiana, and I got a hotel. And then the next morning I got up super early. I wanted to hit the road early, and got things ready to get the bike packed. And I think I was on the road. It was before 6 a.m. because McDonald's was still closed. I couldn't get a coffee there. And I was going to be, I'm a coffee addict. I thought, no big deal, I'll ride till noon, and, you know, at noon I'll stop somewhere for lunch and get a coffee. I rode an hour. Went past the McDonald's, went in there and sat for an hour, drank a cup of coffee and an orange juice, and had a sandwich. And so, yeah, coffee is an addiction, you know. Anyway, the ride home was flawless. You know, went through a bunch of little Indianapolis, and, well, actually I did that the day before. Peoria and Champaign and whatever cities are, you know, there, and then across Mississippi into Iowa, and you know, it was just a good ride home. Very good ride. The bike is comfortable. It's got this. You know, this bike still has a stock seat, and I'm at 17,000. And usually when I get a motorcycle, by that time I've changed this. I've wore the seat out and I've changed it. Well, this one I haven't had to do that yet. And when that time comes, I'm going to probably get the touring seat for it, unless Seat Concept makes one. So why would I want a Seat Concept seat? Well, if the Seat Concept seat is taller, I would like a taller seat. You know, I like to sit a little higher, I can see a little better. I also think you get a little more, I call it differential handling. You know, since you're up higher, there's a wider range. Anyway, I think the bike, you get a little more control of the motorcycle. Well, I'm starting to ramble, my friends. I don't know what else to tell you about this thing, except I just had a ball on it. Now, before I go, I want to share something with you all. We're going to India. Royal Enfield gave Baxter's a free trip to India, and I'm going to tag along. So we're going to go there. I think it's called Motoverse, and we're going to visit the Royal Enfield factory in Chennai. We're going to go to Motoverse, whatever, you know, that's supposed to be like Sturgis times 10. And we're going to see the new Royal Enfields, and I don't think we'll get to ride them, but we'll be able to see them. And the factory, I'm just so thrilled about that. And I appreciate y'all watching, and I really appreciate y'all commenting, and I really appreciate your input and everything, because y'all have made that possible for me to be able to visit a place like that. And I'm all about motorcycling. I love motorcycling. I don't know if you guys have noticed, I like riding motorcycles, any motorcycle, but and y'all have made that possible. And I want to thank y'all for that. I really do. It's a humbling thing. And I just, hey, life is good, right? Right. Now, if y'all are interested in new or used Royal Enfield, Triumph, classic British bike of any type, need parts, accessories, thingamajigs, doodads, jackets like my beautiful Nervik jacket, or a helmet like my wonderful showy Neotech over yonder, or an HJC or something like that, or good gloves or anything like that, get yourself over to Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, Iowa, or go to Gearhead Junction if you're over in Virginia. And tell those fine folks that Fuzzy Biker sent you. Baxter's does ship motorcycles, so take advantage of that if you'd like. Now, it's still early morning out there, but I've got some motorcycle riding planned for today. I've got an old classic British bike we're going to ride later today. So if the weather is good where you all is at, get yourselves out there and ride, my friends. Get off the couch, get on the bike. Life is good. Wahoo!
Once you get used to it, it's pretty easy. Pick it up and then click yourself back to first. There you go.
Nice.
You go into a parking lot and do that, people look at you like, what the